are live. So, hi, magandang hapon, magandang tanghali, good afternoon, everyone. Annyeonghaseyo. Welcome back to another session of Career Talk Thursdays. So, this afternoon, I'm Frimsel, and I'll be your guest host for today's session. Just to let everyone know, this is our ninth session, and this afternoon, we will be talking about how to speak with confidence when speaking with employers in interviews and virtual events. Very timely and relevant nito, no? For fresh graduates and students since, 'di ba, most of the interviews and events nowadays, they're happening online. So this afternoon, malalaman natin paano ba maging confident for our job hunting as a fresh graduate. But before we start, want you to know that this event is hosted by Prospol Philippines. And ano nga ba si Prospol? So we've had a short video, but to give you an overview, Prospol is a career portal and jobs board designed specifically for students and fresh graduates. So we help you get the best start for your careers by providing you with all the information that you need for your career decision. So may it be day in the life articles of employers, career events, and jobs that are for you. Now, we work within Asia. We work across Asia, Australia, and New Zealand, and we are working with employers, universities, associations, and even student societies. So this afternoon, samahan nyo kami. Alam ko medyo maulan sa ibang mga parts ng Manila at ng Pilipinas, but samahan nyo kaming magkwentuhan. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them in the chat box at itatanong natin yan sa ating guest later. So as you can see, medyo meron na tayong idea, no, kung sino yung speaker natin. But I would like to introduce this person first. So our speaker for today is Melissa Alegado. So Melissa actually started her career as an ESL teacher since last 2007, so 2007. She was also a preschool teacher in Singapore for 7 years and earned her early childhood development diploma there. With her exemplary skills, Melissa joined the VXI family and started her journey as a BPO trainer last 2021. So let's give her a warm welcome. May it be likes, hearts, hi, ganyan, emojis, para naman ma-boost din si Melissa this afternoon. So, bago tayo mag-start sa presentation niya, no, kumustahin muna natin siya. Siyempre, gusto muna natin na maging comfortable yung ating guest speakers sa kwentuhan natin. And siyempre, pati na rin yung mga live viewers natin. So, gusto namin na maging safe space to for everyone para mapag-usapan natin lahat ng gusto natin malaman about job interviews. Specifically, kung paano nga ba magiging mas confident pa pag nakikipag-usap with employers. So, ayun, ang dami ko man sinabi. So, kamusta ka naman, Melissa?
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, rookies. Good afternoon, Miss. Fris, ano ba yung nickname na mas magandang itawag ko sa'yo?
Yeah. Pwede rin Aya, Frimsel, ganyan.
Ayan, Miss Frimsel, very unique name. And maayong udto to everyone in the Philippines.
Ayan. Buti na lang, hindi pala panggabi si Miss Melissa today. So, kala ko kasi since BPO trainer ako din before, night shift kami. So, si Miss Melissa, naka-normal schedule siya, morning shift. So,
yes, tao pa rin.
That's good to hear. So, I won't take too much of your time because I'm pretty sure marami kang gustong i-share sa mga viewers natin. And then, we will also have a couple of questions later on. And again, if may mga questions yung mga students or yung mga nanonood, feel free to drop it in the chat box and we'll ask those later. In the meantime, I'll give the floor to Melissa so she can share her insights on how to be confident in interviews and virtual events.
Thank you, Miss. And
Thank
thank you,
you.
everybody. Yes. Okay, magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Please just allow me to speak in both English and in our vernacular, so that would be Tagalog, because I heard our audience for today, most of you are from NCR region or NCR, okay, or Luzon area. So I'll speak a little bit of Tagalog for us to understand each other, to feel more comfortable, and of course more on English as well, because today we will be discussing on speaking confidently to our employers in interviews or virtual events. Una sa lahat, you can call me Mel, rookies. I know you are aspiring employees or career people in the future. I am very happy to be part of this event today. I always love sharing and talking with people like you. I call you guys rookies kasi tayo yung mga newbies, tayo yung mga wannabes, tayo yung mga new fights, right? Mga neophytes na magsa-start pa lang ng ating career going forward. So, gusto nating malaman, how do I prepare myself in the future for my upcoming interviews? Siyempre, ngayon pa lang, most probably, lahat tayo, nagsisend in na tayo ng ating mga resumes, right? We're already coming up with a possible outline for our CVs, right? Or curriculum vitae. Kasi gusto natin mas magiging maganda yung kalalabasan niya. But the thing is it just all about the preparation of our resumes or our CVs? Would it be enough? Very meaningful, ang dami nating pwedeng isulat doon. Ang ganda ng school na pinanggalingan natin. But in our own selves, sa sarili natin, how prepared are we to take on challenges for our interviews? Okay. Now, very common nowadays are virtual interviews, right? Or tinatawag nating online interviews. Dahil nga with the pandemic, meron tayong mga limitations that are happening. So, how are we going to present ourselves there? In other words, our topic for today is speaking or how to speak with confidence to employers in the interviews or virtual events. Now, we always hear of the word confidence. People tell us, be confident, you can do it. Ganyan. But the question is, do we really know the meaning of the word confidence? Are we really aware of the essence of this word in preparation for our future interviews as applicants or as candidates for a certain role or position? So that's what we would like to discuss today. Okay, and later on, you can ask away questions from me. I'd be very ready to answer. So let's begin, rookies. Let me start with the first one. So, una sa lahat, virtual interview with an interviewer or an employer or events na magaganap siya online. So that means we won't have the means to meet our prospect employers face to face. It's just going to be like this. You see me on the video, I don't really get to see all of you, but in the final interview, we would be seeing each other. So, what are the platforms? We have Skype, we have Zoom, we have Gmeet, among others. Now, we would like to know, what is confidence, right? It's something that we have first to figure out. Now, according to Google.com, this is the easiest access we can have. Confidence is a feeling of self assurance, arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. At the same time, confidence also means a state or feeling certain about the truth or something. Medyo malalim siya, rookies. Paano yun, Mel? Hindi namin masyadong maintindihan talaga. Okay, so confidence is a soft skill. Okay, it's something that we have to innately possess as future candidates for jobs. Kasi ito yung magiging very impactful when it comes to our interviews. How we project ourselves during the interviews, how we carry ourselves during the interviews, and the impression that our employers would have based on what they see and what they hear from us during the interviews. Now, ang situation natin here is that it's just going to be virtual. My prospect employer won't have the chance to see me. So, how do I manifest? How do I establish an impact that I have that confidence in me? Ganyan. Kailangan ba mayabang yung dating or aura-aurahan ba ito? So, yun yung gusto nating malaman today, rookies. And let's begin. Okay, first we have virtual interview with an employer. Number one, very important thing, prepare yourself before entering the platform. Okay, if it's a Zoom platform, do your tech check. That's a given fact. Check your microphones, check your connections, because you wouldn't want for the employer to wait for you. Remember, you should always be ahead of the interviewer. Do not ever make the interviewer wait for you, because to them, it's a manifestation of our professionalism and dedication to apply for a certain post or position. Now, once you're inside the platform, just like what I'm doing now, I don't get to see everybody, but most especially if I see my interviewer, make an eye contact. Okay, bakit Mel? Ano ang kinalaman nito sa confidence level? This is an important skill that we would like to master in showing confidence in any interaction. Okay? Listen and always make eye contact. Imagine yourself talking to a friend face to face, and that friend is not even looking at you. Di ba feeling natin parang, bakit ganon, hindi naman siya nakikinig? Or hindi siya interesado sa sinasabi ko? Friend pa lang natin yan. Or baka sa mga jowa natin, di ba? Pag hindi sila nakikinig sa atin, feeling natin, iba yung iniisip nila. So we come up with different ideas and doubts. Ganon din when we are having our interview with our employer virtually, or pag may mga events, for instance. Kailangan ng eye contact because it depicts enthusiasm. Okay, it very much speaks volume about our interest sa ating employer when they ask questions, and in the same manner how we answer the questions. So kailangan nakatingin tayo sa kanila at nakikinig tayo ng mabuti sa bawat tanong na ibibigay nila sa atin. Pero Mel, sabi mo virtual lang siya. So, paano yung posture? Paano yung upo? Paano yung stance? Paano yung movement ng aking katawan? Now, along with listening and making eye contact, do not forget, number two, maintain strong body position. I know it's a very hard habit to make, especially mga rookies, yung mga youngsters natin ngayon, we enjoy slouching, di ba? Pag nakaupo tayo, parang tamad lang. Sanay na sanay tayong nakasandal, nagchat-chat, nagte-text, ganyan. But remember, when you are preparing yourself for the job interview, your professionalism counts most. And maintaining a very good body position is a very important thing. Therefore, rookies, sit up straight, arms by your side. Let's avoid crossing our arms. They say when we cross our arms like this, we sound a little bit, not really a little bit, we sound condescending in the manner we provide our answers. Kasi may effect kasi siya sa movements natin, yung mga sinasabi natin. So they might just misunderstand us and think na parang medyo mayabang si candidate, parang super comfortable, parang super confident. Now, we don't want to appear like that in front of our employers. Gusto natin, humble pa rin tayo, but professional. So always remember to sit up straight. That's what I always do when I conduct trainings. And don't forget to always look happy and professional. Number three, we have this habit of moving around kahit nakaupo tayo, especially the young ones, no? Ang tendency natin, if we're nervous, and it eats it up, it consumes us, you see, is when we fidget when talking. What do we mean when we say fidget? Pwedeng kinahawakan natin yung pen and we keep moving it while talking. Or we are tapping our fingers on the table or doing unnecessary actions that strongly manifests lack of confidence or lacking in confidence during the interview. So, syempre, ayaw natin yon. Kasi pag nakita ni interviewer na parang hindi ka masyadong confident, ibig sabihin, you're not ready. Ibig sabihin, you're not prepared. You're not about to take up on the challenges. So, always go back to number two, maintain strong body position. Number four, another very important thing. It's a hard habit to practice, but this is what I always do as a trainer. Yung kahit medyo merong mga pasaway na trainee sa classroom, kailangan nakangiti pa rin si facilitator or si trainer. Ganon din tayo as candidates for interview. Smile and enjoy the process. Okay, as they are speaking to you, don't forget to smile. Don't frown. Don't pout. Don't show expressions na parang hindi ka interesado or natatakot ka. Cover your anxiety, cover your fears with a very nice smile. Why? Because confident people smile along with the eye contact. So always remember, it doesn't have to pay a lot. It won't make you pay a lot of money if you smile. It's for free after all. And they say it makes us look way younger and even more beautiful when we smile. Number five, eto na tayo. We are about to provide answers to the questions. Now the interview has started. The interviewer rolled out possible questions to you. Number five is very essential. Deliver answers or ideas slowly. This adds to one's confidence. Ano ba yung kadalasang scenario if you are nervous? I'm sure you rookies know ano nangyayari when teacher asks us to recite. We tend to speak fast. 'Di ba? So when we speak fast, we stutter, right? We stammer. We eat the words. We mispronounce words. Ang dami nagiging grammar lapses because we are rushing. We are rushing to finish our sentences kasi gusto natin tapos na kasi nga ninenervyos ka nga talaga. Bakit ka ninenervyos? Because again, you are lacking in confidence. So remember, rookies, do not blurt out answers. Do not talk and rush. Take your time to think. And do not be afraid to pause. Take your time to breathe. Hindi masamang huminga. But of course, don't take so much of your time pausing. Kailangan to a certain extent. Kunwari, if you're being asked a question, maybe you can pause for a little bit, 1, 2, 3 seconds, and then provide your answer. Okay? Avoid rambling. Why do we ramble? Because we are not confident. And what does it mean when we say rambling or ramble? We do not stick to the question. An idiomatic expression that's very famous, I'm sure you rookies know this, we tend to beat around the bush. Ibig sabihin, you're just being asked a particular question, but you go around in circles talking without giving a direct answer. Remember, our answers should be relevant to the question. For example, what was your last job experience? Well, simply say, I do not have any job experience yet. I just graduated, and this is the reason why I am keen to look for a job as a first time applicant. I would like to be able to find an area where my qualifications would best fit me. Okay. So, pag wala tayong experience naman, hindi na natin kailangang sabihin na, I don't have any experience yet because I just graduated. But if I were to have a job, I want this kind of job where I can work on a day shift only. And also, the location of my workplace should be near my house. So, ang dami na nating sinabi. Remember, do not ramble. Stick to the question. Okay. If you're being asked questions like, how are you today? O, di ba? Ang common questions natin, sabi kasi ni Miss Mel, wag daw nagra-ramble. Don't beat around the bush. So, is it safe to say, Mel, I'm fine, thank you for asking? I'm fine, thank you. And you? Pwede bang ganun, Mel? Okay lang ba yon? Well, these are generic answers, guys. Kailangan marunong din tayong mag-create ng much more informative and much more creative answers. So you can just simply say, I'm feeling a little bit nervous today. This is my very first job interview, but I have been looking forward to this. It's a mixed feeling of nervousness, but at the same time, excitement. I can't wait for this day because I know that sooner or later, I will be able to find the job that I really want. Remember, guys, when you're applying for a job, you want that job. It's not like your mommy asked you to apply for it. Well, it's a sad story if it happens. Pero usually, when we look for jobs, it's our own volition. It's us who really want the job. So kailangan excited tayo. And make them feel that you're up for it. And make them feel that you are prepared for that interview. Because again, we go back to confidence level. Number 7, tone of voice. Keep it low, but friendly and confident. Avoid high pitched tones. We females, we ladies tend to speak at the top of our voices when we are unsure, when we are nervous, right? So try to relax, breathe, and work on your confidence level. They say, psychologists say, and studies say, when we speak at the top of our voices, at the top of our lungs, it also manifests lacking of confidence. So learn to relax, shoulders down, sit up straight, smile, and answer coming from your heart. That's very important. Smile and enjoy the process. Confident people smile. Okay, these are very important things. So I have repeated it from the slide I had before. Always remember, when you are able to smile, you make people think that you are confident and you are sure about what you want to do. Number 9, don't be afraid to ask. A lot of us, when we go for job interviews, we are thinking that we are expected to know everything because this is a job interview. So I cannot ask. It would be a shame to ask my employer questions. She might think I'm not smart. She might think I'm not ready for it. Well, guys, I've learned this. And I know that in asking questions, you will make the interviewer feel prouder of you because you are not afraid to ask questions. While you are being interviewed by your prospect employer, we guys are also interviewing them. So, sound humble while you are selling yourself. So, for example, you can ask about schedule of work. What are the work schedules like? Are there schedules for a day shift, or do you get regularized eventually since you do not have the job offer yet? Will there be regularization and stuff like that? Well, if you ask me, Mel, is it okay to ask for the salary right away? I wouldn't recommend yet. Okay. I think for the interview part, we are not yet officially hired. We are still part of the hiring and selection process. So that said, hindi pa masyadong mahalaga na magtanong na tayo agad ng salary natin. Anyway, by the time they provide us the job offer, we can always decide whether we want to pursue with the application or try our luck sa ibang companies. So, the content, the context of our possible questions should just be those basic questions na pwede itanong sa kanila. We don't want to ask about salary yet. That's one thing. And lastly, over prepare for the meetup. It's very important, rookies, that when you apply for a job, you know the position you're applying for and you know about the company. Why is it very important? Because they might just ask you what you know about the company. They might just ask you about the role you're applying for. And guys, we cannot afford to say, I'm sorry, sir, I have no idea. I'm sorry, sir, I didn't take the time to research about it. Okay, that has got a lot to do again with our confidence. Why? Because if you have no answer to the questions, then that means you did not prepare for it. And if you did not prepare for it, that only means one thing. How will you be confident to provide answers to questions pertaining to the company and the role you're applying for? Research about the company, know about the ins and outs of the company. It's not really important that you know everything. You should have the overview of the company because most likely they will ask you about it. So just like what I do as trainer when I facilitate trainings to my near hire candidates in the BPO industry, we always remind them it pays to know about the accounts that you're applying for. For instance, you're applying as an account associate, which, by the way, is open now for applicants. Okay, we'll talk about it later on. You have to know what the role of an account associate is. And ano ba yung mga openings na account ngayon sa VXI that are actually looking for this particular role or position? And what is it that you can provide in the company if they were to hire you as an account specialist? Now, these are possible questions that they would be asking us. And along with that, we also need to know, am I suitable for this particular role? If not, am I willing to be trained? Okay. Will my strengths, will my weaknesses be a part of the training that I will go through in this company? And if so, how will it build my confidence? How will it hone me? How will it develop me as a new employee of the company? So there's a lot of things yet that we have to know. But one thing is very sure, confidence is something that we can learn. Confidence is something that we can practice. We can always make it a habit. We can follow other people, emulate how they practice their confidence level. It's okay to follow other people's practices as long as it would work best for us. Because always remember, guys, we cannot always fake it, right? There will always be times when it would be very obvious na hindi tayo confident. But that makes us human beings, right? So, yung mga future bosses natin, gusto din nilang makita na kahit papano nahihiya tayo, meron tayong medyo uncertainties. But at the end of this interview, what's very important is that you ace the interview. You come out more confident rather than nervous, rather than unsure, rather than insecure, or thinking low of yourself. Because that's very important. Because remember, how will you be able to project yourself in the company if you are lacking in confidence? So these are the things that we need to remember. If we are not certain of our answers, if we're not sure of their questions, it's okay to be honest. That doesn't make us less of a person. That doesn't question our confidence. In fact, it makes us more confident because we have that ability to ask questions. And that is something that most of our employers want. Hindi nga most eh. Lahat ng mga employers, yun yung gusto nilang marinig from their prospect employees. And so with that, I'd like to remind you from a very important source that I have read somewhere before, and I'm trying to adhere to this up to now that I am working as a trainer myself. Super or self confidence is a superpower. It's a superpower because once you start to believe in yourself, magic starts happening. So always remember, there are times when we falter, we stumble, we think of ourselves low, sometimes we lose our morale. But at the end of the day, rookies, always remember what your education has taught you and where it should lead you in the future, right? There's only one way to go, but get yourself your most desired job and be happy about it. Because when you're happy about it, then you are confident. And when you are confident, magic starts happening. So I'm closing my session with my pep talk with this reminder to all of us. Thank you very much. Miss, I'm done.
Miss Mel, no? Really grateful insights. Tapos, I was also thinking, baka nung umpisa, medyo mabilis din ako magsalita. So, I'll try to slow down as I ask questions. Yan, para naman din, kasi we have a couple of questions that we've prepared. Probably some of these questions, mga questions na gustong malaman ng mga viewers natin today.
Yes,
Siguro I'll start off with one of the most common questions na natatanong sa amin. Paano mo maiiwasan yung mental block during a job interview? For example, I was asked a question.
oo nga, no? Medyo mahirap siya. By the way, just to piggyback on what you said, for us Filipinos, we say mental block, di ba? Yun yung nakasanayan natin. But in a more appropriate way, we say spaced out.
Space
Yan,
out.
new word sa mga rookies natin. Space out, word of the day. So, how do we avoid getting spaced out when we are talking? Siguro importante lang talaga, miss, is our presence of mind. Organization of thoughts. It's something that we train in VXI, right? We have to always learn how to organize our thoughts and our ideas.
Mm-hmm.
If we are spaced out, fine. It's okay. Pause for a while. That's spacing out. Pause for a while. Think of the next word. Minsan nga they say you can drag the last word. You can use some fillers, okay lang naman. I think, yung mga ganyan, yung mga ganong transition lines, okay lang siyang gamitin. But you have to make it a habit when you use transition lines like that. Kailangan mabilis tayo to come up with another answer or another idea para hindi magtatagal yung dead air or yung gap between the last word to the next sentence.
Miss Mel, meron ka bang, ano yung ideal time to space out? O, di ba? Nagamit ko na agad.
Oh,
What's the
saya.
what's the ideal time to space out during a job interview?
I would always say, miss, masyado nang matagal yung 5 seconds. Based on my experience with the trainees I have who are applying as customer service representatives, when we practice our skills, right, for the product, for instance, if they pause for 5 seconds, and by the way, we have Berlitz examination, and it's a very big no-no to incur long pauses. So
Mm.
as I listened to them, I realized if you make me wait for more than 3 seconds, that's a very long time waiting. Sige, try. Kunwari, tanungin mo ko, tapos nag-stop ako ng 3 seconds.
Most common
Parang,
question is, ano, tell me something about yourself. Ganyan.
ayun, tapos nag-pause ng 3 seconds. Di ba ang tagal?
Yeah, matagal nga yung 3
Matagal siya.
seconds.
Matagal na yung 3 seconds.
Okay.
Tell me something about yourself is one of the most common warm-up question, by the way. That was my topic to my attendees this morning. So, just one pro tip, when you are being asked rookies to introduce yourselves, you don't need to introduce your name because your name is already given. So you can talk
Mm.
about your educational background and your goal, your desire to apply for that particular job that you want. So it need not be too personalized. What are my hobbies? What's my favorite color? I want to watch TikTok. I want to read books. Those are irrelevant part of self-introduction.
Mhm. Yan, thank you. May additional tip pa tayo from Miss Mel.
Yes.
So, meron tayong question from Frances. So, hello, Miss Mel. I'm graduating
Hello.
student. And what habits can you recommend to build up confidence during virtual interviews or even in general? Thank you.
Yes. Ayun. I think, Francis, hello. Congratulations. You're about to finish your education. Enjoy the process. Ganun lang talaga. For example, ako ngayon nandito ako sa harap ninyo. Hindi naman kayo sure kung ninenervyos ako, di ba? But I'm enjoying the process. Okay? I'm just thinking that this will end in no time. So enjoy it. Trust in yourself and be yourself. That's the most important thing, because if you project yourself to be somebody that you are not, medyo mahirap because along the way lalabas talaga yung demeanor na meron ka. But it's very important, Francis, to be prepared before you even start the interview. Set your standards for yourself, expectations, ano yung mga dapat mong gawin. And also, Francis, it pays to read and
Mm.
do research. Nakakatulong sila sa atin. Manood tayo ng mga YouTube, ng mga informative programs that would help us hone or develop our confidence level. This will add to it.
Thank you naman talaga, Miss Mel. And then, may isa pa ulit tayong question galing kay Christian. So sabi niya, when or at what part of the application process is the best time to ask for what the salary and other benefits will be? Kasi
Hi,
you mentioned yata
Christian.
earlier
Yes.
na ano, oo.
Lagi ko sinasabi, there are different processes in the interview. There's initial and there's final. Usually, the job offer will be offered to you once they are interested to have your
Mm-hmm.
services to the company. Sometimes we don't even need to ask for it because it's going to be in black and white. They will present it to us themselves. So the company will provide it to us. Now, Christian, kung first interview pa lang siya, I don't think it would be ideal to ask them the salary and the benefits. But it's okay to ask, will there be benefits in this company? Will there be a tenure? Will there be regularization? I think those are the important things. But when it comes to specifically asking for a figure or for salary, in my experience, Christian, normally they would ask me first my expectation. Yes, and then it's up to you. Figure it out. How do you self-sell? How do you value yourself? Pag fresh graduate ka, ano yung mga bracket na pasok para sa iyo sa palagay mo? So you can indicate that. And then the company would have to revert to you in no time and tell you, okay, this is the offer. So nasa sayo na siya, Christian, if you're to go for it or you will reconsider other options.
Yan, thank you, Miss Mel. Paano naman po yung ano paano po kapag ano marami akong stuttering, yung ang hilig kong mag-stutter kapag nakikipag-usap sa employer? Paano yun mababawasan or any pro tip kung how
Mm-mm.
to avoid stuttering?
Actually, it happens kahit naman tayo, it happens to the best of us. That's why
Mm.
sabi nga nila, speak slow. Take your time. Okay? Pero wag naman super slow. Wag naman monotonous or robotic ka na. Speak in a natural way. Speak in a spontaneous way. And while you're speaking, kailangan think English para you speak English, automatic yon. Yun yung practice namin sa VXI eh. Think English, speak English. And always, Miss France, sinasabi ko talaga sa mga applicants, it pays to study. It pays to learn because we cannot be overconfident and think that we can do anything at one go. So kailangan before isalang natin yung mga sarili natin for job interviews, prepared talaga tayo mentally and emotionally. And alam natin na this is an interview, so dapat best foot forward tayo doon.
Yeah. Meron kasi tayong tendency, no? I think natutunan ko tayo ng previous job
Yes.
na we transliterate like kung anong naisip mo in Filipino, ganun mo rin sa
Exactly.
English. So,
Yes.
good tip yung think in English. I know it's not our first language, pero if
Yes.
English yung medium of probably interview, it
True.
might be best na mag-prepare ng,
Yes.
para
And
hindi ka
just
mag-stutter din.
correct. And to piggyback on that, I always believe, and this is our practice in VXI again, based on my experience as a trainer, we're not expected to speak like native speakers. So if there is ever transliteration in our sentences or Filipinoism, which is very common among us, right? It's something that should be acceptable because number one, we are not native speakers. But
Mm.
what is the most important key point here? That the interviewer would be able to understand what we are saying and that our grammar is not too glaring when it comes to errors and our pronunciation is neutral. Ibig sabihin, pag tinanong naman nila tayo, hindi naman masyadong masakit sa tenga yung regional accent. For example, like I'm in Davao City. I train a lot of Davao folks. So yun yung palagi kong nire-remind sa kanila. You don't need to master the native tongue. You just need to make sure that you study, learn the correct pronunciation, make time to educate yourself para when you start talking, you become more confident kasi you know it's the correct way to say it.
Mhm. Siguro yung challenge din kasi if you're like mimicking, no? Yung masustain siya
Yes.
the entire conversation. You started with a
True.
British accent tapos you ended with ano ibang
True.
accent
True.
na. So
Yes.
medyo challenging siya pagka ganun. So, yan.
Totoo, miss. Totoo.
Thank you. Meron tayong phone-in question again from Christian naman.
Christian.
So yung question niya is how to not lose hope when failing multiple interviews. Kasi nga naman nakaka-impact din naman yun sa confidence level ng
Moral.
oo
Yes.
at moral ng ano no ng candidate. So any tips na pwedeng i-share sa ating viewers?
Multiple interviews. Well, number one, check. Yung bang mga ina-applyan natin, Christian, in line with our credentials? In
Oh,
line
yeah.
ba siya sa gusto natin? Kasi baka naman, pinipilit natin magpa-interview pero hindi pala yun yung linya natin. Baka mas magaling tayo sa tech support behind the scene sa background kesa sa customer service tayo. May mga ganon.
Mm.
So you have to check, bagay ba ako dito sa role na ito? Bakit kaya laging nababagsak ako pag ini-interview ako? So learn to reflect on that. Number two, listen to yourself when you go for interviews. After the interview, you can write it down. Isulat mo, ano ba yung mga naging weak points ko? Ano yung mga best practices ko during the interview? Now, I still believe in luck, Christian. I don't know how you agree on this, pero minsan talaga, it's just the charisma that you have that will make you get the job. You don't even need to sound very brilliant during the interview. Minsan talaga may mga soft skills tayo na nakikita ng mga employers. And believe me, there are really a lot of multinational companies that do not necessarily hire brilliant people. Minsan mas tinitingnan nila yung mga humble type of people, willing to learn. So makikita nila yan when they interview you. Makikita nila kung mareklamo ka ba, matanong ka ba, ano yung mga common questions na tinatanong mo. Meron ka ba mga sineset na qualifications or requirements pag nagtatrabaho ka? Because your answers, our answers will speak a lot about our
Mm.
characteristics as applicants. So isa din yun. Kailangan we should speak in a more tactful way. Kailangan iniisip natin yung sasabihin natin so that we do not sound mayabang or masyado naman tayong inferior. Kasi ayaw din nila pag masyado tayong parang inferior sa sarili natin. Ibig
Mm.
sabihin, paano ka mag excel pag natatakot ka? So, yun yung mga bagay na dapat nating isipin. Pero for first-time applicants, guys, there's so much doors for us for fresh graduates. So, don't stop trying. Ibig sabihin, pag na-fail tayo sa first interview, it won't follow that the next interview is going to be the same. So, we just have to try and try our luck.
Mhm. Thank you, Miss Mel. And I think yung pwede ko rin i-share, no?
Sure.
Kasi I used to interview yung mga fresh graduates before.
Mm-hmm.
Always think na, na kunwari ma-fail ka sa interview na to, technically you're getting one step closer to your job, to your
Mm-hmm.
dream job. Kasi maybe this job
Mm-hmm.
isn't right fit for you, that's why you're not hired. But
Mm-hmm.
perhaps
Yes.
in another role you're more right
True.
fit at para sa'yo talaga
True.
yun. So, importante na when you fail, you reflect, tama yung sinabi mo kanina kung ano ba yung, baka may opportunities akong kailangan
Mm-mm.
i-improve. Pero sa next session, better na.
Yes.
Yep.
Tama.
Yan. So, meron pa tayong isang question coming from our viewer. What should I do po if the interviewer is kind of aloof? Parang I can't talk much kasi very one-liner si interviewer and I feel like I don't have the opportunity to expound what I want to say. Yan. So si interviewer na yung medyo shy. Char.
Oo. Hello, Selena. Nakaka-stress yung tanong, no? Pag ganyan. Hopefully, wala tayong ganong interviewers. But, if that were the case, Selena, it should not psychologically and mentally affect you. So, pag tinanong ka niya, tell me something about yourself, kwento ka lang. Kailangan conversational yung dating. Tapos palagi focus on the job that you want. Bakit ka ba ini-interview? Kasi ito yung hiring nila. Ito yung mga list of positions available. Don't get
Mm.
intimidated by the facial expression of your interviewer. Because why? Minsan they're trying to psychologize us. Gaano ka ba kabilis ma-intimidate? Or fighter ka ba, palaban ka ba, yung sige go, go, go lang kasi gusto ko talaga tong job na to. Kasi importante yon. when we start working on the ground, guys, we would be meeting different types of bosses and colleagues. So, kailangan game changers tayo. Kailangan yung sense of camaraderie nandyan. And kailangan we are able to mix around with different types of personalities. And that interviewer is just one among the many people you will encounter in our lifetime. Kaya kailangan matatag yung loob natin.
So may part ng ano talaga, dapat i-manifest mo na hindi ako natatakot sa'yo, ganyang
Yes!
level.
Kahit natatakot ka na, Selena, ihing-ihi ka na ha, kailangan smile ka lang talaga.
Ngayon,
Ganyan.
so Miss Mel, kunwari may mga ganong experiences si candidate, no? Meron ka bang tools or apps that you can recommend to enhance self-confidence?
Ako talaga, kasi medyo ano ako ano bang tawag nito? On the spot ako. I don't really just read it. I go on YouTube and watch. Sobrang
Mm.
dami sa YouTube, but you just have to find those credible sites doon. Usually, when I listen, it's either I listen to Filipino speakers or native speakers when it comes to that.
Mm. So, mga audio and video resources.
Yes, audio video resources tapos I Google some of the tips as well. Actually, similar lang naman din yung sasabihin nila. Pro tips, how to be
Mm.
confident, how to answer in a professional way. What do you do when you have a parang standoffish kind of employer? Yung mga ganyan. Masyado tayong accessible rookies sa internet. So, use it in a more purposeful way para mas
Mm.
marami tayong matutunan.
Mhm. Right. So, best yung feeling mo best personal advice on how to be confident during an interview na pwede mong i-share sa mga nanonood sa atin
Mm-mm.
today?
Ako talaga, miss, to be honest, when I'm in the classroom as a trainer, medyo strict ako. Ganyan. Pero my approach is always, I made it a habit to smile. Kahit na medyo
Mm.
hindi na positive yung sinasabi ko. Kasi para sa akin, importante kasi yung impact sa tao. So guys, rookies, no matter what happened, smile and relax. Kasi ano yan contagious yung smiling. Nakakahawa. So, wag kang tumawa naman. Basta just keep that positive aura pag ini-interview ka. Tapos, stay humble and be yourself. Yun talaga yon, be yourself. Do not pretend to be another Corina Sanchez or Karen Davila or the late Miriam Defensor Santiago kasi ito yung gusto kong vibe, ito yung gusto kong impression sa akin. There is no one like you. There's no one like me. So be yourself and be confident.
Mhm. Yeah, kasi papunta na sila sa exciting part ng buhay nila,
Yes!
ang maging part ng workforce, right? So,
True.
on that note, any advice that you can give sa mga fresh grads na nagpe-prepare for their job hunting?
Yes. Una po sa lahat, rookies, congratulations. I don't know any of you, but snappy salute sa inyong lahat. Your parents must be very proud of you. I have kids myself as well, and the feeling of being able to send kids to school is a sense of achievement for us as parents. Your parents must be very proud of you. So just keep your goal, you focus. Very important, self-reflection. Ano ba yung gusto kong gawin? Doon tayo magsisimula. Ano ba yung gusto kong trabaho?
Mm.
Kasi pag gusto natin yung ginagawa natin, we would be dedicated into doing it. We would be passionate about it. And we would be happy doing it. So, it's very important to be happy at what you do. Yung salary rookies, saka na yon pag masyado ng malawak yung experiences natin. Do not compare. Siguro may mga ibang friends kayo na kapag graduate na sila 2 years ahead of you. Ay, bakit siya ang laki ng sahod? Ako maliit lang. We always start from the bottom. That's the key there. So, mas masarap yung feeling na nagsa-start tayo sa baba papunta sa taas. Kasi mas ma-appreciate natin yung value ng money, yung value ng hard work natin, and yung value ng success natin when we achieve it. So I think it's very important to have that
Mm.
kind of mentality.
Right. So, maganda rin, siguro mas lalabas kasi na confident ka if you know what you're doing, no? Like,
Exactly.
lalo na
Exactly.
kapag love mo at may passion ka dun sa ginagawa mo, you really
Totoo.
excel in that aspect. Um,
True.
so, this might, come across na medyo, no? Pero I'll ask it anyway. So,
Sure.
name one thing na sana ginawa mo before as a fresh grad, sa job hunting mo. I know it might be a little while back,
Uh-uh.
katulad din.
Sige.
Pero sana,
Nag-spaced
parang
out
if
ako,
there's
oh.
one,
Nag-spaced
yes.
out.
So, if there's one thing that you've done, sana ginawa mo before nung naghahanap ka ng work.
Sana talaga I pursued my ambition of becoming a broadcaster because that was my course back in college. But because of some personal reasons, it's something that I wouldn't want our rookies to follow. Focus on your future. Do not get married young. That's one very important thing because that's based on my experience. When you get married so young and you have kids at young age, it curtails your dreams and aspirations. Whether you like it or else, makakahamper siya. So, while you are young, while you're at it, kailangan enjoy everything that you have, work, travel, explore life. Kasi yung mga relationship goals natin, mangyayari lang naman yan if there's really someone that's meant for you. Nag-pep talk na talaga ako sa
Ayan,
personal
naging
life.
life coaching na tayo.
Di
For
ba?
today's video,
For
apart
today's
from
video.
confidence, we'll talk about life coaching, ganyan. Yan, marami talaga tayong mga bagay na matututunan sa mga
Yes.
career talks ng Prosco, not just about
True.
careers,
Yes.
but also in life. So, if
True.
may mga questions pa yung viewers natin, we can still ask them to Miss Mel. So, we're still opening that platform para sa kanya. Pero thank you for sharing that. I know na may mga students tayo dito maybe nasa relationship ngayon. Ayan.
Yes.
Exciting naman talaga yan. Pero mas exciting yung makahanap din ng trabaho.
And
Yan.
travel. Lalo na ngayon,
Mm-mm.
miss, maluwag na kasi yung travel.
Yeah,
So, mas
yeah.
masaya yun kesa sa mga relationship goals. Saka na muna siya.
Ayan.
Pahappy muna natin
Coming
si
from
Mommy Brady.
Mommy Mel. Coming from
Yes.
Mommy Mel. Ayan. Ayan. So, um, siguro in one word, how would you describe your fresh grad job hunting experience before? Para lang may point of reference yung mga viewers
Mm,
natin.
my fresh
In,
grad job hunting experience before. Exciting! Kasi yun yung first salary mo, first paycheck mo yun,
tama.
di ba? So
Tama, tama.
I could remember vividly. I was already married back then, but I remember very clearly yung very first paycheck ko. I shared some to my late mother. Siya talaga yung
Mm.
una kong naisip. And it feels so great na parang payback time to our parents.
Yes,
Or kung
yes.
sino man yung mga guardians natin ngayon, not necessarily our parents, maybe our aunts, maybe our grandparents, it's important to pay them back. Rookies ha, wag yung puro shopping-shopping, Lazada at Shopee tayo dyan.
Ayan. So, today's video talaga meron tayong kasamang life
Life
coaching
coaching.
with Miss Mel, right? So, exciting. So, yun, don't forget, it's an exciting journey kasi you're
Yes,
starting to, you're a new chapter of your life,
true,
ganyan.
true.
So, yeah. I agree with you kasi yung parang first salary ko din, napunta rin siya sa parents.
Di ba?
Ganyan. 'Di ba? Fun naman yan siya. Also, it's July 7, 7/7 sale. Shout out
Hala!
sa Shopee and Lazada. Kidding.
Ayan
So,
na!
ayun na nga sa mga may salary dyan. Anyway, ayun. So, I know we're close to wrapping up the session, pero I think one, siguro, last two questions I'll ask. What's your
Sure.
message to college students, fresh graduates, Gen Z, or young millennials? I think pasok pa naman tayo dyan sa bracket na yan. Any
Ouch!
message
I
for
wish.
them?
Siguro ako lang talaga, based on my experiences, not life coaching, enjoy the process, enjoy your journey. Do not think for once that education is going to be wasted. Be responsible young citizens. Make use of what you have. After graduation, rest for a while, pero make sure you focus on your goals. Huwag natin masyadong tagalan yung bakasyon kasi baka makalimutan natin na kailangan natin magkaroon ng work pa rin para maging productive people naman tayo sa Pilipinas. It's okay kung gusto natin eventually mag-abroad tayo, why not? I was once a worker overseas. Masarap din siya na feeling. Not only because you get to buy what you want, but you can also help your family. So, magdedepende siya sa mga needs natin, sa mga aspirations natin. But one thing, you set your goal. Yun talaga, para alam mo kung saang direction ka papunta.
Tama. So, goal setting ang
Yes.
parang, masasabi mo ba, Miss Mel, na goal setting ang pinaka-root ng confidence building? Kasi pag alam mo na yung gusto mo,
Yes.
i-build mo na doon yung mga actions kung paano mo yun ma-reach.
Ang galing ni Miss mag-segue. Siyempre, doon tayo papunta.
Yes.
Kasi pag may
Oo.
goal ka, wala kang choice eh. Kailangan maging matapang ka. So ngayon, paano ka magiging matapang? Isa-set mo ngayon yung
Labanan.
confidence level mo, di ba? Hindi ako pwedeng matakot. Hindi ako pwedeng palamya-lamya. Kailangan laban lang. Ganyan.
Siguro thank you, no? Add ko din na siguro one of the things that you can also do, yung mga fresh graduates natin, if you have a mirror, talk to yourself before
Yes.
nung medyo bata-bata pa ako. Kidding. So,
Bata ka pa naman,
harap,
Miss.
thank you so much. Kamsahamnida. So, usually, harap ka sa mirror, tapos, doon ka, kunwari, mag-ask ka ng sample questions sa sarili mo, tapos, doon mo siya sasagutin. Tapos, you can hear yourself, you can see yourself, kung paano mo siya sagutin. And even in virtual setup, kasi di ba most of the time, baka yung interview ng generation ngayon is virtually, at least nakapag-practice ka beforehand sa harap ng mirror. Importante kasi yun para, ayun. Yun lang naman na i-share ko lang.
Yes. And
So,
to add to that pala, Miss, aside from looking at the mirror to practice, record yourselves. Voice recording sa mga activities ko ngayon with my future agents. Pag nagpa-practice kami ng call listening, pinapa-record ko sa kanila para marinig nila yung tone man ng voice nila ay umaangkop dun sa sinasabi nila.
Oo,
Yes,
tama.
maganda din siya na practice.
Since marami naman tayong tools din, siguro yun yung tool na pwede nating i-share sa kanila. Meron tayong recorder, at camera, as simple as that, easily accessible. Before we let you go, Miss, alam kong busy person ka, we have may last question tayo from our viewers, from Frances. Sabi niya, I'm a human resource management student. I kind of seeing myself as a trainer interviewer as well. What's your piece of advice that I can do or say appropriately during the interview? So siya as an interviewer. Tama ba?
You see yourself as a trainer and an interviewer as well. You mean to say you are an HRM student but you would like to deviate? Mas gusto mo, mas inclined ka sa trainer or interviewer? Actually, alam mo, Frances, relatable naman yung course mo sa pagiging trainer at saka interviewer. May kinalaman pa rin yun kasi yung human resource, in charge din kayo sa hiring and selection. And we have that in VXI as well. So, it's okay. Doon mo din magagamit yung ability mo in gauging people when it comes to their skills. Right? So, pwede mong i-apply yung pagiging HRM student mo or graduate mo into becoming a trainer or an interviewer. You will be in the best position to provide and facilitate trainings with the degree that you have earned or you are about to earn. And ang advice ko sa iyo, ayun pala yung tanong niya, Miss. Hindi ko naman nasagot yung tanong niya. And ang advice ko sa kanya, go ahead. If you like it, go for it. There's nothing wrong in doing what you want. Kasi again, guys, importante you're passionate about what you do and you're happy doing what you're doing. Yes.
Thank you. Ayan. Merong isang nagtanong dito. Hindi ko lang sure kung seryoso siya sa tanong na to. Pero sabi
Ano
niya,
ba yun?
sabi niya, if I fart during the interview, should I blame the interviewer? I don't think, personally, ako na yung sumagot, no?
Ano sabi niya? Should he blame the interview?
If I fart during the interview, should I blame the interviewer? Hindi ko alam kung dapat yung tinanong, pero sige.
Sobra ka bang na-nervyos? Kaya napafart ka?
Or
Pwede
na lang
no?
po siya, poker face na lang, para Parang walang
Oo.
nangyari, ganun.
I think he's referring to, Miss, I think he's referring to a face-to-face interview,
Yes, yes,
not
oo.
virtual, no?
Mm.
Mm.
Siguro ganun nga kapagka dead man na lang ba?
Sana
'Pag
lang walang
virtual kasi
ano,
nga pala 'tong setup natin. So 'pag
kung virtual
virtual
kasi yung
naman, hindi
discussion.
naman natin oo.
Pero alam mo, this is a natural disaster. So when natural disasters happen, hindi mo mapipigilan yun. So smile ka pa rin. Sana lang, ito, ewan ko kung joke or ano ha, sana lang walang amoy.
Sorry, that came out too ano, loud, pero yes.
Di ba, miss? I mean, let's be honest
Tama
about
naman.
it. Nag-fart ka na kasi. Sana lang walang amoy yun. Pero kung kaya mong pigilan, pigilan mo naman. Di
Or
ba?
ano, I think it's part of preparation that you're physically, mentally
Yes,
prepared for the
ready.
session, ganyan. Yun lang
True.
naman. I think okay na yan, Miss Mel, nasagot na natin yung question ni Jerry and Jenny.
Yes, yes,
um,
yes.
so yun. Yan. Uy, meron tayong viewer from Sri Lanka. Shout out sa mga viewer natin from
Wow.
Zamboanga, may Jensen, Sri
Buenos dias, buenas
Lanka.
tardes.
Yeah, yes. Annyeonghaseyo. Yun lang ang contribution ko. So yun, very thankful kami sa session na to. Miss Mel, I know we took a time out of your busy schedule, but we really appreciate you for your time and effort for the
Yes.
presentation earlier. Miss Melissa, sobrang dami naming natutunan. Ako kahit na may experience, marami pa rin akong natutunan. Sana may ganito nung time natin. Um,
Kaya nga
kasi, di
eh.
ba, para mas na-boost pa yung confidence natin. So
Mm-mm.
yun, for the viewers that we have, you can always set up your profile on Prospol Philippines so you can be updated with sessions like this as well as opportunities available. And next week, we will also have another session for our Career Talk Thursdays. We'll flash it on the screen so you'll know, but definitely it's something that you'll also be interested um, to learn. Visit our page to know what's the next talk. And then we also have e-certificates for those who wanted to have a proof of this session. And then VXI also is looking for account associates. So they have available hiring dito sa Manila and in Davao. So feel free to visit their page in Prospol Philippines as well para you get to see that they have available opportunities in Quezon City, Makati, MOA, Bridgetown, Clark, and Davao. Yan. So, ayan. So, dahil dyan, siguro before we finally end this session, ask ko na rin si Miss Mel if you have any last words before we end.
Yes, I just want to say thank you very much for this very wonderful opportunity, Miss Frimsel and Sir Christian. I always have fun whenever I join these types of events or speaking engagements. And although I don't get to see our audience today, I'm sure they are watching. Maybe may mga napatawa tayo, may mga napangiti tayo. May mga realizations naman at may mga takeaways sila for sure. Trust us, with their age right now, I think mas medyo malawak na yung wisdom namin and we only really want to share what we know would be best for you and your future. So as I always say, enjoy your journey, good luck sa inyong future endeavors, and always keep your feet on the ground. Yun yung pinakamahalaga. And stay confident, guys.
Ayan. Tamang-tama. So, hopefully, yung mga viewers natin today, marami silang natutunan sa um, mga na sinabi ni Miss Mel today. Next week, our discussion or our career talk is alternative ways to start your career, may it be
Hmm.
in freelancing, business, volunteer, and other options. So, yan. And siguro that ends our Career Talk Thursdays on how to speak with confidence when speaking with employers in interviews and virtual events. So again, thank you for joining us today. Once again, I'm
Thank
your guest
you.
host, Primsel. Thank you, Miss Mel. Sa
Thank
mga
you,
nakamiss kay
guys.
Yes, bye, Miss Mel. Ayun, sa mga nakamiss kay Roanne, don't worry, she'll definitely be back next session. So follow us and stay tuned on our social media channels for updates. So kita-kits ulit next Thursday. So see you everyone. Bye. Have a great afternoon.